the biggest job is clicking the right microphone. Good evening, everyone. Look who's here. It's Todd. Can't believe it, can you? Two old duffers like us, and Todd's come on to talk to us.
No, I'm on the scrounge for subscribers, don't you know?
I think all your
You've come
subscribers
to
are
the
here.
wrong place.
Full of beautiful people. Good evening to the members. We love you. All our members, we love them. Everybody's blue as well, I don't know if you've noticed, apart from Johan K. Holmstrom. Strum, isn't it? I remember.
3D's not.
3D now.
There's a few Nicky Maynard's not. Will T.
Yeah. We could give some away. We're allowed to give some away tonight. They've give some more. So
you made Hinchliffe a spanner. Oh, you've done. Oh, that was a bad mistake.
We worked it out sort of early on that you can have, they all fall out and then delete each other and that. But if you give the other one a spanner, then they don't do it to each other. It works out pretty well, really.
You can't do it because if you do it, then they can do it. So it just cancels each other. So it actually works out great that way. Yeah.
It was sort of. I should have done it with the kids years ago, shouldn't I? Really, stop them falling out. Give them both a spanner, and that would have been it, wouldn't it? Good evening, Billy Lee. Nice to see you. Good evening, Net Reality, the lovely guy from Vape Gems, who hasn't took advantage of your name here yet. But anyway, probably will do soon. We've done Billy Lee, haven't we? Good evening, Cloud Chucker. Good evening, Matthias. Is it Matthias? Is that right? I think it's Matthias.
Matthias.
Matthias. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. Good evening, Gerrit. Good evening, Mr. Hinchliffe. Nice to see you. Good evening. What was it again? G.T. Winkham.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. He'll be spinning in his chair just now after hearing that.
Legion sent me. Good evening, GT Twinkham. I'm going to say it properly. He'll be able to spin backwards. Nice to see you. Good evening, the Vaping Snowman. Lovely to see you, mate. 3D, good evening. David Childs, good evening to you. Jane, good evening. Is it Jane Dodd or Jane Dodd? I don't know, and I haven't asked her it yet, so I need to get her to tell me how to pronounce it. To me, it would be Dord, but you don't know.
I would do Dowd.
All right. Good evening, Jane.
But I doubt that's right.
Yeah, probably won't be. Good evening, Will T.
Hey.
Good evening. Will T used to be called Will Titty, but everybody thought he was a troll and kept throwing him out, so he changed it. That's a true story. Good evening, Dion. Nice to see you. Mr. Intense, good evening. Nice to see you. Mr. Intense. Oh, we did Mr. Intense. Just think, Christ, what's up with me? Is that nearly everybody? Nicky Maynard's in. Nice to see you, mate. Lizzie, nice to see you. From Legio X. I've just done a review on your Rosie's Custard. So it was coming on at 10 o'clock. Have I missed anybody? Scott Wood, good evening. Nice to see you. We did Nicky Maynard, didn't we? Craig Campbell, nice to see you. I will have forgot somebody. And the lovely Vapor Bunny from Vape and Brew in Belfast. There you go. I know that because I bought some e-liquid off her last week. So that's it. Job done, I think. I'm bound to have forgot somebody because the trouble is with OBS, it jumps, doesn't it? You get to a certain stage and it just clears off. I presume you don't use OBS, do you, Mark?
No, I used to, but I found that after 20 minutes, the audio would drop, it would go out of sync.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I've not used it with a Mac, but on PC it used to always do that.
Yeah,
so I've been using Streamlabs for the past while.
Yeah, Nicky Maynard, welcome to.
It doesn't like Macs, because you can't get it to run on yours, right? Mick?
Well, I might be able to if it was a top of the range Mac, but the problem is I actually watched the video. Good evening, John Paul Glasgow. CC Coils, good evening. I actually watched the video about it, and she said I was trying to use it on a MacBook Air, and the real reason it wouldn't work is because there's no fan in a MacBook Air, and basically the components were warming up and they couldn't cool down, so it just gave you lag. So I stopped trying to use it and used StreamYards instead. Just their free one, and it works a treat because you're putting the burden on their servers within their site because it's web based, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but you're clear. What camera do you use?
That's an Instalink 360.
Is that a DSLR?
It's a webcam.
It's just a webcam because it's really clear, isn't it?
But it's an expensive webcam, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
it was Lloyd. I saw Lloyd and Alex at Vapor, wherever they're at. That they have that shop, the ginger-haired one and the wee guy with the big ears and Vapor
that
Bay.
guy.
That's the ones.
Bay.
Yeah, Vapor Bay.
Vapor
They
Bay,
got
yeah.
them, and I saw them showing them off, and really smart. Really, really good.
We both
How's
bought.
the focus on it though? If you're like holding something up to it, does it
pop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good.
That's pretty good.
This one's the stream cam, and that's the reason I bought that, because it does. It'll pop.
Yeah.
Whereas with the 920, sometimes once you took it away, it just used to mist up. You'd be doing a review and look up, and the camera hadn't seen you for 5 minutes.
Fuzzy.
Yeah,
I
just
get it
goes
all
fuzzy.
the time. I got the 920, so I'll go fuzzy every now and then.
Oh, the 920. That's what no, that was my first big purchase for doing reviews, was a 920. And you used to have to lock the focus.
Yeah.
And then when you're holding something to review, you had to hold it in the exact same spot. And then unlock, move, lock. Oh, man.
It definitely changes.
I've had it now for, I don't know, how long was it?
4 years?
Close to
4
it now?
years, yeah.
Oh, it's a good, it must be 9-10 years old. The C920 now.
Yeah. We started and got it. We bought them just before COVID actually started.
Yeah.
Because and then when we got them, and then like about 3 months later, if you looked at the price on them, they just skyrocketed because everybody was getting on Zoom and stuff, and all that shit went up.
They went up to 100 quid, didn't they? We got them at about 40, and within no time at all, they were up 100 quid for a C920. When I bought this stream cam, or my wife bought me it for Christmas, I just sent her a link to what I wanted, and it was £150, and you can pick them up now for about 70, I think. But they are, for what I want it for, it's perfect for me. And my down low camera is just a book reader, basically. It says 4K, but you'd never get it to run in that. But it's clear enough for the level we're at. It's not like we've got massive.
I have to say, my down low's a camcorder. It's about 7 years old.
Really?
But because it can stay powered on all the time, you don't have to worry about changing out batteries.
Yeah.
And the focus is just so much quicker on a camcorder.
Wow, never thought of that.
The color balance is shite, as everybody keeps telling me for some reason. I don't know why, but it looks okay to me.
So when did you start reviewing? What year was it? Do you remember?
Will be coming 12 years now. Yeah, 12 years now.
2012. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was 2012 somewhere.
Yeah. So started vaping in the March, and then a couple of months later, I started doing videos.
Wow. And it went on from there. How quick did you get?
What was your first thing your first piece of hardware you reviewed? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's what kicked me off. It was somebody in the old UK Vapors forum. It was used to be a company called Brit Vapes, and when we were on all in Carto tanks, and there was this Carto tank that had a 6mm tank extension, glass extension, and somebody asked me to just show them it, so I just did it on a video and posted it in the group, and I just went from there. And yeah.
Is it your full-time occupation?
The reviews are no. I do have my own business for the past 5, 6 years maybe. Yeah. Which is Todd's Reviews, but that's nothing to do with the reviews as such. That's other work in the business. That's what pays my wages. That's what pays the mortgage.
Yeah.
But don't get me. I mean, if if I'm lucky, once or twice a month, I'll get paid to do a pod review, not a disposable. Hasten to add, which is pocket money, beer money. But the proper financial pay my way is something else within the business.
Is it media? Is it? I don't even want to tell me. Is that what you're saying?
No. It's mostly on the design side of things.
What for the e-cigarettes?
Yeah.
Ah, right, excellent.
So
brilliant. So you actually make a living out of the vaping in some way.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Because there is a few, isn't there? There is a few people that actually manage to do it. I mean, I drive a cab full time. And then I do this. This is basically my hobby.
I golf full time.
Bill golfs full time.
That's how I make my money. Yes, actually, I'm retired, but
he's a very, very wealthy golfer. He's very good at it. People don't know who he is.
Yeah, really. Very wealthy. Yes, that's.
Matt Waits, good evening. Nice to see you.
Okay. I never liked that guy. Never liked them.
Have they run out of guests?
No. When you see Net Reality on, that's when we've ran out of guests.
Oh dear. You get your fair share of grief from your friends then.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's the best way.
We had discussed this at one other time. If people aren't giving you a hard time, they probably don't like you. Yeah.
If they're comfortable, Demidens, good evening. If they're comfortable enough to give you some shit, then it's not a bad thing, is it?
Yeah. If somebody's willing to, basically go ahead and, say stuff to you just eye to eye and back and forth banner type stuff, then you've got somebody that's a friend. As far as I'm concerned.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, how long have you guys been about in the business?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years is now. Yeah, we started.
Yeah.
And
yourself, Bill?
We started
4
together.
years. We basically started together.
Yeah. Had you ever even heard of us?
I'll be honest. No, I've been before. The charity. No, would be the honest answer. I could blow smoke up your arse and lie, like most reviewers, but I'll choose not to.
Well,
that's it. You've no reason to, have you? I mean, I watch less vape-related things since I actually do vape reviews.
Yeah.
Obviously, like if it's a friend's business or a friend's e-liquid line or something like that, you're really interested in that because it's a friend. But in general, you don't watch. But I suppose when I first started, I'd watch.
There are so many. I mean, it's just like there is so much out there. Basically, what I found is about the only time I ever watch a review or do anything is after I purchase something. Then I may be sitting down saying, what the hell's this button for? Then I'll have to go online and find somebody that says, oh, you flip this and it does this. Oh, okay, thanks. And that's all I'm really after. I don't literally watch reviews and then say, oh, that product looks great. I'm going to go buy one. I usually buy something and then go find out how to use it. It's...
Come on, guy. I didn't come on here for you to belittle my profession, for fuck's sake.
But the thing is that's what I'm saying. I've watched your channel before, so obviously, it's you review enough stuff that you're going to hit something I buy at some point.
I think you did that one. I'm sure you did because I looked the Albrecht too, didn't you? I think you did. Was it you?
I don't think. No, I've never. No. It's that Vape Life, is it? No.
Can't remember, to be honest.
Or Broomhilden or whatever they are. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Broomhilden.
I've never done any of their stuff.
It might have been the fact. It might have been because I was looking for another mouth to lung RTA, and I think I might have looked at something that you did and then didn't buy that. To be honest, I think I went over and bought something else, and it was, what do they call that? He does tobaccos and stuff like that. I can't remember his name now. I am subscribed to him, and he did that one, so that might have been what I'm thinking.
It's kind of funny. I mean, like if you go to an expo and things like that, I mean, like I could be, say, standing next to Nick Green, and I'm still, if anybody recognizes me, I'm gobsmacked.
Yeah,
but it's, you could be talking to, say, like Grim Green, and somebody will come up and say, watch all your videos, Nick, how you doing? And not know who the hell I am, which is brilliant. It's great.
Yeah.
But then once in a blue moon, you'll have a little old lady will come up and say, hello, Todd, and not know who Nick is. So it's
that's right.
Exactly, it's just not taking. I mean, like you say, we don't tend to watch other people's reviews because it influences your own opinion as well.
Can do,
So you got to be careful on that front.
Yeah.
You could watch them, I guess, maybe after you've reviewed something, but then again, you may go back and on your next review, whatever they had said on that one, maybe something that kind of sticks in your head. So,
yeah.
And it's another thing. I did an e-liquid review, and then I watched Shrek do the same e-liquid review after he was a week after, and he got a completely different flavour out of the juice as what I did.
Yeah,
and neither of us are wrong. Because the taste buds are set up different and everything, aren't they?
But juice reviews, juice reviews are going to be that way. But when you get to hardware, and it's like there's, when somebody is saying this thing does so and so, and somebody else is like, this thing won't do what this, then one of them's not being upfront with you.
I did watch a review on the Keen before I bought that, and this famous reviewer told me that it's a brilliant device, and you never get a hot button from it. And all I ever get from my Keen is a hot button. So whether I got a faulty one, I don't know. Or whether it was just the Chrome one that did it. Good evening, Ian. I don't know. But I have bought devices that were supposed to be amazing, and they haven't been as amazing when I got them. So I'll just say
that. This is the way with everything in life.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing, sometimes when something's shiny and new, it's better. And then after it's about 3 months old, been out for about 3 months, all of a sudden it's not as good. But that's even if you just buy it, it has, your opinion of a certain thing when you first get it might be something that you really like. And then after you've had it for a little while, it's like, there's a few things now that bug me about this damn thing, and you may not have picked up on them when you first started,
Yeah, there's as I got over 50 years old, I find there's lots and lots of things in life that grind my gears that never used to.
Exactly.
But one of the things that really gets is when people say, I know as soon as I use something and take it out of the box if it's any good or not. I'm like, holy shit, there's no way.
How long do you usually use a piece of hardware before you actually review it? You give a couple of weeks?
A week. 7 days minimum. Because there's, and this has been talked about for over a decade, and in the perfect world you would have, as I do for certain people that patrons, when something comes in, I unbox it and set it up and I give initial impressions, but if it was just you would have that on your main channel, then you would have a review, and then you would have a 3-month follow-up. But after you've done the unboxing, you'll get hardly any views for the real review, and you'll get next to zero reviews for the 3 months, because the vape game just moves so quickly. And it's I don't
think it's fast now. I don't think so much so now as it was. In the last year or two, it's kind of slowed down on hardware, I think. Well, depends on what end of the hardware. As far as like the RTAs, RDA type hardware stuff, that's really slowed down over the last
for our markets, for the States and Europe, then yes, I would agree. But as we were talking about earlier on, we get into our own little groups and whatnot, and we forget that there's other people out there that are vaping different ways, and Indonesia and Saudi, there's across the world, they're so different.
I've never looked into it. That'd be an interesting thing to see, because it's a big thing in Saudi Arabia.
The review that I watched on the Noisy Cricket, on the original Noisy Cricket, was a guy in like Singapore or Philippines or somewhere, and it was like he was putting the build in, but then whenever he'd put the build in it, I think he had it like I think he was trying to get it down to 50. And he was saying, oh, it's just way too hot. You can't vape in it, And so then he was trying to take the coils. He was adding wraps to the coils and everything else, trying to get the coils up higher so that he could actually vape the noisy cricket. But like I said, so I've watched a few different things like that, but not a whole lot. And like I said, that was another one of those deals where I already had the noisy cricket, and then I ended up trying to find out.
Yeah,
we bought the conversion kits for the original noisy cricket because there was quite
I
a few bits
remember
of it.
I'm reading Matt Watts' comment and saying even hardware reviews are somewhat subjective. I disagree with that partly in that, and you guys said it earlier on as well, when you're showing the hardware out the box, what it comes with and how it's constructed, that can only be factual. It's how it performs and how it holds up. Then I would agree. That can very much so be subjective.
And sometimes
do you think that different companies, though, that you've got like a company that you've just not had real good luck with as far as their hardware is concerned, and then you get something by them, and then before you actually open it, maybe your preconceived is another piece of junk from this place?
I'm kind of different because most of my gear, like the posh shit, if you like to say it, is from people. More often than not, it's from people that I know and like or get on with. So I'm kind of the flip side. Maybe I'm going to like it a bit, forgive it for certain things, and because I like the people. But I'm lucky that the people that do send me, they know that I'll be honest.
So that is some subjectivity then.
Yeah.
I mean, a bit.
It's but the thing you get to know, and the people in chat will know this, or they'll be, and you'll know this as well. If you do watch reviews, you tend to stick to the same reviewers because you get to know how they vape, whether you trust them or not, or even if you like them.
Right.
And I mean,
some people are more of a showman, and other people are just nuts and bolts. And I find I like the nuts and bolts guy. Whether I'm not looking at a review for the grandy, I don't need lights and flashes and this and that and everything else. I'm just, how's this work? How good is it? That's pretty much all I want. So you do look for that. And
old school Bissardo reviews. That's his original reviews that he used to do. They were very much, and German reviews are very, very nuts and bolts, and it's
some people are that way minded. I personally, I like to watch some of Nick Green's reviews. I enjoy watching Bogan's stuff, but I've got to be really honest. I'm not into Burra tanks, so if it's a Burra tank, it's an instant turn off for me, and I just disappear. It's just I've just something I've no interest in. It just doesn't interest me in any way, shape, or form.
Are you still vaping that? Is your favorite wattage somewhere in the 40 watt range?
Sorry, Bill, is that me?
Yeah.
No, I've changed many times over the years. I'm now for the past few years, my sweet spot is about 25 to 30 watts. About a 0.40 between 0.4 0.6 ohm coil. Very much restricted direct lung is how I choose to vape when I'm not reviewing something. But I still enjoy mouth to lung. I did it so many years, and when I'm allowed to, or when the missus isn't in the house, I will direct lung because it's great fun. It's wrong, but it's great fun.
It's good fun.
Is it flavor? Is that you think you get better flavor out of that wattage, or is it just what makes that your sweet spot is what I guess I'm asking.
For the juice that I vape, my all day vape juice, the custard I vape, that's its sweet spot for me. But this goes back to what we were talking about juice reviews earlier on, and why I stopped doing juice reviews is because you would get a juice and you would vape it in one tank or one dripper at one wattage with one resistance.
Yeah.
But as you guys know, you can take that juice, you can put it in a mouth to lung, restricted direct, lung or direct, and it can be completely different across the board.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So unless you were doing all these methods, then you were never going to get know what the best the juice could be. So that's why I stopped doing juice reviews, really.
I do custards. Like I've got custard in here. But with custards, if I go below 60 watts on a custard, I think it just loses its flavor. I mean, to me, if I can get a little more heat to it, then I think it brings the custard flavor out better.
I find that it gets almost like I'm burning the flavor off when I go. But it also depends on, like, see what's these ones? These future juices, I keep them up there for when I do some cloud chasing. Because 25 to say 35, 40 watts, restricted direct lung with these juices, nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. Stick it in a dual coil RDA and give it some beans, and it's superb. It really is.
Yeah, but it is.
Well, Mr. Intense does 15 watts, right? Isn't it
14? 14.
14. Oh, he's lowered it a watt.
14. No, it's you. You added it a watt. It's 14 watts for the win.
Oh, I added a watt. Sorry, Mr. Intense. Didn't mean to add a watt. Don't burn yourself up.
But he's a mouth to lung vapor, isn't he? So that's what I don't know what e-liquid he vapes, but that's what he vapes at.
He's not a proper mouth to lung vapor if he vapes at a rounded number. Most mouth to lung vapors, it's always point something.
16.7.
Yeah.
I picked this up. Have you seen one of these? The Fakirs mod. You've probably got one of them.
Yeah. Did you not watch the review, mate?
No. Did you watch my review of it?
I did. It's in my to watch later.
Well, that's strange because I ain't done one. That's certainly that type of device I've got, and that was the reason I bought that, to go on it. And I think it's lovely. It's a real nice. It's 200-year-old wood or something from Turkey, and it feels nice. It's got a real good feel to it. And obviously, it's
years have been going. I mean, I remember when they started, and they've done some really good. I mean, the QC has always been it can either be bang on or it can be shit. But when they get it right, some of their gear is top notch. Really is top notch.
Pugs has got the what they call it version, that posh version. What do they call it? I can never remember. I've never got one. Like the Danny's. What do they call that?
Yeah, I know the one you're on about. Yeah,
he's got that and the chips on it. So and they're £500 a piece if you look at them. They're still available. And then he bought the other one, the full mech version. That one's the MOSFET one, I think.
Yeah.
So there's a few about it. I just like it. It's just nice.
Yeah. They're not in Turkey anymore.
Are they not? Where are they now?
Is it not Bulgaria? I think they're in now. They've got a shop in Bulgaria. I'm sure it's Bulgaria. They're in now. They moved.
See, before I bought that, I'd no idea who they were, and in fact, I'd never really looked in. I didn't even know. I just knew they were in Turkey, or presumed they were in Turkey because they said about the award. But I'll look into them. I'll have a look. It's maybe cheaper for them, is it?
I think it was the custom side of things. With Turkey was giving them grief.
They don't like selling vape devices in Turkey. There's no vape shops or anything when I've been.
Yeah, there you go. Paul and Daniel. It was a couple of years ago they moved. That was nice fella. Very nice guy.
So still creating then, definitely. I'll have a look into that. Interesting to see. I've been to Bulgaria. So what do you vape all day then, Matt? Is it you got a particular device that you use all day or?
No.
Yeah. You have a rotation.
If it was to come to if I go away, if I go away on holiday or away for more than one night, then I'll always take a Delro with me. That's my 6 years now. I think it's been my my go-to mod. Yes, it's a bore mod, but because it's got a lipo. I just like traveling with lipo mods. I prefer them because I always take a big power bank for my phone, and so when you've got a mod that charges at 2 amps, and it just makes sense. So
I know when I go away, I used to take most of the contents of this room with me, because you're like, oh well, I might want one of these and I might want one of them, and I'm quite happy now. I always take a couple of battery devices, and then I'll probably take a battery charger and 4 batteries, and one of the devices stays in the suitcase for the full 2 weeks, just in case the other one breaks, and we go on that. But originally, I used to take gallons of juice and all sorts of things, but the urge to do that seems to have disappeared.
Yeah.
I always make sure I got an arbiter with me, but what goes along with the arbiter may be different, but I always take an arbiter. I mean, it's like stock coils or something. I'm always afraid that the coil's going to burn out or something like that. Or if you've got a pod or a system or something of that nature, then this might not or that. But I always feel like as long as I've got a mod that's working, the arbiter shouldn't. The odd thing is I don't take any cotton with me. If I burnt the cotton in it, I'd just be screwed.
I always take cotton. What I normally do is I empty the arbiter out, take the cotton out of it, and actually I've still got the boxes for them, and I put them in the box and then put them in the suitcase. And then when I get there, I re-wick them. And then before I come home again, I wash them out, take the cotton out, put them back in the box. That way they're not going to get broke. I don't put them in a bag, because obviously when you go on an aeroplane, it's easy to pick the bag up and bend the thing over and snap it. My SVBM goes with me everywhere. I don't know what one of them is.
Pure Max for life. That's a Nigel Moxon mod.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've not tried that. Have you tried the Pure Max?
So you were doing the reviews and stuff back when you had to fill the tanks from the bottom and get the juice all over everything and all of the...
Oh, I still do that. I still get juice over everything. That's just a given. That's just a given.
Yeah, but the bottom fills, you couldn't, if you had a half a tank left and then you went to fill it, all the half a tank come out. You couldn't keep the juice in the damn things when...
I was quite quick. I went from Carto tanks to Genesis Atties within a couple of months. So I went right down the rebuildable route almost straight away. So
I went to the vape shop and started looking at rebuildables. I think it was Mex, to be honest. And I went in and I said to him, "Oh, what's them in that case?" He went, "You don't want to be looking at them." So what do you mean? He says, "You don't want to be looking at them for experienced users." And I thought, well, so I never asked him again. I thought, well, you didn't actually tell me how to get experience with it, so you obviously don't want to sell anything. So off I went. And it took me a couple of years, really, before I got into mech. So I got an 18650 mech, and within 2 days I got a 2700 mech. And, and then it's like stacked and all sorts of things I've got now. But again, I don't seem to use them very often.
And I had no mechs until I met Mick.
He gets his first mech and he says, "I'm not going any lower than a 0.16. He says, "It'll be too warm for me." I said, "All right then." Anyway, within 2 weeks, he's there on a 0.1. 21,700. And he says, "They're not that warm, are they?" I said, "No, you've just got used to it."
Yeah, my first rebuildable though was that damned was that serpent, that Watofu serpent. And oh my God, it's a wonder that I stayed with rebuildable. I still can't build that damn thing.
The Watofu serpent, the Conqueror, and all that, they were fantastic. I'd love to get my hands on a Conqueror again. That was a really good RTA.
But the serpent conquered me, so I figure it is a conqueror.
What was the other thing we got? There was another thing we got, and I couldn't wiki it. I used to just think I'd done it. Peacemaker. The
Peacemaker.
Squid Industries Peacemaker.
Squid Industries Peacemaker.
And
do you have any squid? Have you done Squid Industry stuff?
The double barrel. No,
that's it. Yeah,
just the mod. Just the mod.
Yeah.
They did a Peacemaker RTA. They did a single.
Well, I've got like the Chief King RDA. It's really good. Yeah.
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 I sent mine to Mike Haynes. He's got 2 of them because Benny got one and he couldn't wick it either.
Yeah. Now I sent one to Scuba. Yeah. Scuba wicked it. Claims that it worked great for him. It's still
yeah, but I think it depends how you vape. I like it nice and fiery with loads of crackle. And I suppose if you put bigger coils in there and it was, and you got more cotton in there, it's not going to leak. But I used to struggle with it. You'd just be thinking, I've absolutely cracked it. And then all of a sudden you'd look and all the juice had gone down your clothes.
Yeah.
It just used to drop it out. It was just one of them things.
Are you more of a single coil or a dual coil?
I like dual coils on my Armor's RDAs, the original Armor. That still is great. But I still prefer 22 mil RDAs. That's just because all the mechs I had from back in the day, and the vast majority of them were 22 mil in diameter. So,
I suppose sometimes with a smaller chamber, you get a bit more of a fiery sort of vape, don't you, as well?
I think.
Well, once you get down to that size, you really getting dual coils, and some of the smaller ones is next to impossible. If you do, you're going to have an awful small. You're going to have what 2.5s to get. I don't even know if you get 2.5s in there.
Yeah, 2.5s is the usual. Yeah. I mean, the only actually large RDA that I've got now is the one in the Regenesis.
Oh yeah. What's that one? That's the original one that came with it. It was because it was a kit one.
Yeah. It's you got the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's mainly because it's got the diffused airflow on it as well, so it's really smooth.
I've still got that one, that original Twisted Messes one.
Yeah.
And
I've actually got a series build in that. Oh, with the cotton sealing, that's disappointing. Because there's not a lot of room in there.
Nope.
So that was the Squid Industries. That's the Chief King RDA. Like I said, I didn't like that. I thought it was a horrible RDA, but it was Mick had taught me how to do round wire build.
Yeah.
So I was making my own round wire and putting it in it. And then we had
John.
No, the heavy hitter. What's it called? Heavy Metal Vape.
Heavy Metal
was
Vape,
on the show.
Yeah.
And I was talking about the fact that it wasn't that good. And he's like, oh, it's fantastic. I vape on it all the time. Well, I put some proper coils in it and started hitting on it. And I was like, oh, damn, it is really good. It just turns out I can't make round wire coils.
I think it's the flavour though with round wire, isn't it? You don't the first thing. I mean, I've got a OBS engine mouth to lung. I've got 2 of the little RTAs, and as soon as I started putting little aliens in there, they turned into a completely different thing. When the original round wire that came suggested with it, real thin stuff, you never got any real flavour out of it. It was all right.
Yeah. But do you do any coils? You make your own coils at all, or do you just?
Oh God, no! I have a man that does that for me.
Yeah.
It's an awful job. No, I only ever made round wire coils, and I still make my own round wire coils when I'm vaping myself. Yeah. But I get all my coils from PC Coils.
PC Coils.
Peter Carver's. So, and I have done for 3-4 years now. So, because when I'm testing an ATI, I always use the same coils. Yeah. The same build. I've got the same build for an RDL and a mouth to lung and a DL, so that I can judge them. There's consistency.
Yeah.
So, I always use the same coils.
So, a question for me.
Yeah, because like you were saying earlier, if you put different coils, different tank, different airflow, different whatever else in, different wattage, different anything, all the stuff that you change is going to change. One minor little thing could make something that's fantastic not taste as good because that person didn't have this coil or that.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 questions from Ian Thomas. Did you enjoy his beef jerky?
I love my beef jerky. He knows I love my beef jerky. He knows I did. My dog loved it even more than the dog hadn't come into the shed for months.
Really?
The dog hated coming out into the shed because it was just pissed off sitting in here. And then I had the bag of beef jerky sitting in the top drawer here. And I used to come out to the shed. The door had been open in the summer, and the dog was just sitting here staring at the drawer. And it was.
I enjoyed it. I got the spicy one, and it was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I got the spicy one as well. Well, I think it was the spicy one.
Yeah, I just kept munching it while it was all gone. It was so nice. I love beef jerky anyway. And that's, to be honest, I think I've only ever really had it well, I've had some of the ones here, but in the US it was nice, but it's a bit blander when you buy in the shop over here, and that was beautiful, that one here. And his other question was, what's your favourite device of the last 4 months?
My favourite device?
In the last 4 months.
4 months.
Oh, in the last 4, that I've reviewed.
I don't know. It just said, what's your favourite device?
It just said favorite device in the last 4 months.
Yeah, of the last 4 months.
What have I kept from the last one? I don't keep that. It's very seldom that I'll keep something after reviewing it. It really goes back to the liking the people. It depends on the relationship I have with the modder or whether or not I keep something. But the lore, the Hussar lore, I really liked because it didn't break on me, which was, no, Matthias, if you're watching this, that was a joke. I
don't think you have to worry, but it'll be all right.
Yeah.
I went back to billet box life again, and I picked this one up secondhand. That's my favorite purchase, I would say, in the past few months. Cerakoted billet box. So
that was cool. I've never tried one. Never used one. I don't think I've ever had one in my hand either, to be honest.
No, I haven't. Billet boxes, anything along that lines whatsoever. I've never.
I mean, I might try a borrow device, and I might think, well, what, I've been missing out in life. It's just one of them things where, to get a decent one, they're not the cheapest thing in the world, and you just think, well, it might not be.
Joe, £50.
Is that all they are?
£50.
There you go. Then.
Yeah, but then you decide you want to just tank, or you want that window, or you want these shoes that go with it, or whatever.
You don't.
It's like these high heels will look so good with this.
The first thing you do is, if you buy a board device and you use it for a week and you think you like it, you buy a pouch for it or a leather sleeve. You stick it in it, and you don't worry about what it looks like after that. That's.
I'm not really worried.
Yeah, but then you got to have shoes to match that pouch, though. So it's still,
Will says anything over $100, it doesn't have.
That's. I mean,
amen.
I mean, the thing. I mean, Chris, you could go back. I mean, when I started, I did review clones when I very, very first started, and then you get to know the people that make the devices. And then you twig.
That's it.
This is just my opinion. I don't care what you vape or anybody vapes. It's entirely up to yourself.
Yeah, I don't.
But then I got to know the people, and then you realise that it's affecting them.
Yeah.
And so don't do clones. But the best thing about now for me is that the affordable gear you can buy now that vapes. Yeah, I mean, you can buy an RBA for or an RDA, RT or whatnot for £30, $30, whatever. And it will vape just the same as a £200-300 version.
Yeah.
And I'll fight anybody in a corner that says otherwise, because they're lying. They're lying.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love that. I love that you can get good quality gear for any price.
Oh,
now.
Yeah.
But the clones, the bad thing with them is in a lot of cases they clone something but tried to pass it off as the real thing, and then when the clone was a piece of crap, then people started thinking the real thing was a piece of crap because they didn't realize that the clone was a freaking clone, and that's even worse. That really kills them. So clones. If you can make a product that good, then make something different. Don't clone something.
They clone everything, even this microphone I've got here. If you buy them from on Amazon, they're 390 quid each. You can buy them off AliExpress for 120. When you get them, they don't sound right. They're dropped to bits. They're not the same thing. You know what I mean? That's your problem. And why not just make a microphone instead of making one that's not a real one? That's the thing.
Yeah, if you're getting it off Wish, you're probably getting a clone.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Well, if you're getting off AliExpress, if you're getting off AliExpress for a third of the price, you're probably getting a clone as well,
yeah. It's in certain cases, it's like, you're not, when they always say if something seems too good to be true, then it is. Yeah.
I would just like to say, just to Mr. Hinchliffe out there, there's nothing wrong with people that drive Subarus. They're very popular cars.
Are you a Subaru man then?
Sometimes.
What you got? Have you got a? what have you got? Because I like these.
It's
Forester?
An old. Yeah, it's a Forester.
Is it? Is it really? Or are you going to tell me it's a WRC or something like that?
No, it's a Forester.
Right.
It's just
Foresters are nice vehicles. Though.
Oh, they are, yeah. They're good. Yeah. No. Now I thought at the end of it all, you were going to say, well, no, actually, I've got the Impreza WRC that Colin McRae signed the door of, and
no. It's just a humdrum, get you to the shops and back type car. It's nothing.
I'll tell you what, I was told before I ever knew you, but I was told you drove a DeLorean. I didn't really know, but that's what I was told.
I don't know if you've ever seen this, Matt. There. That's Colin McRae's Dakar car from about a year and a half before he died. And that's got his signature on there. My brother used to work for a farmer. We're in Lincolnshire. And it was Colin McRae's auntie and uncle. And so my brother mentioned, because I always used to avidly follow Colin McRae. Everything he did, I used to watch. And he said, "Oh, my brother likes Colin." He said, "We'll be able to get his autograph." And he said, "Oh, how old is he?" Thinking I was about 12. He said, "Well, no, he's 40 odd at the time." Oh, well, why would he want Colin to sing? Because we worked up not far away from where they all lived, and when you were around there, he was just like part of the family. You know, there were that sort of people. There was no sort of star struck or anything like that with him. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, this turned up, and it got the name and address on the back. So I destroyed that in case I got tempted to send him a letter telling him how much I loved him or something like that. But and that's been my pride and joy ever since. It's been in that frame ever since.
Yeah, I had a couple of. Most of my cars over the years have always been imports, Jap imports. So I had a couple of classic EG20 WRXs.
Nice.
And this Forester's basically it's just a WRX estate. It's an import again. So, and it's not a lesbo wagon. It's just John Freight. You know I love you, but just sometimes, mate. Just sometimes.
Who's that? Who's put that?
John Frape in chat.
No.
I can't see
Subaru Lesbo.
There's a long story to go with that, and I'm just never ever going to repeat it anywhere outside.
So certainly not to 27,000 people that are watching this evening.
Yeah.
Was it 20? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, darn, I need to refresh. Mine doesn't say that.
It's 59.
You need to get some of these. These are called rose tinted.
I was going to say I need to refresh. My number hasn't gone up.
It's surprising. It's like this morning when you said, "Oh, could do this thing and I'll share it out." We were talking about it to a few people over the last few weeks who we've had on. Initially, when we first started doing this, probably me, not Bill, but. All you ever wanted to do was get better. You wanted to get more people in. You wanted to get more people to view your stuff. And since we've sort of got over 1,000, we've both decided we're probably going to be 95 before we get to 2,000. So we've completely relaxed about that now. So it's just nice to actually. It's just not actually. I have a lot more fun with it since I stopped doing that, and get people in to talk to rather than to see what you can gain from it. And I think it's a lot easier.
I've said it for years, and I can afford and no disrespect to how many subscribers you have, but the minute you start paying attention to your subscriber count and worrying and thinking about it, then the fun's gone out of it.
I mean, if you're not there for the right reason, basically,
if you're not doing it for shits and giggles and the crack and the banter, then
that's exactly
it's a business, and there's
I don't even know if it's a business. I think it's a pipe dream, basically, for most people nowadays. What you're doing is what it really boils down to.
To actually start.
How about profiles? Do you still bake the same profiles pretty much that you did? Were you more of a fruity person when you started and then switched to more of a dessert since you're like a custard, or if you flip-flop back and forth over the years? Or
I smoked the last few years. I smoked when I was on menthols. So I started vaping menthol, and I did that for a few years, and then there was pixie juice.
Oh yeah,
but it was just on. Yeah. Well, the girl that used to own that company, I used to vape a lot of her juice, and then I started vaping Grant's vanilla custard.
All right.
And then I went from Grant's to Quackster's goose juice, and then on to the WD-40 juice of the e-liquid world.
Somebody did suggest that you were vaping WD-40.
Yeah, that stuff. It's great. Seriously.
What is it? I can't see.
Jedi's Punk,
RM's VC. I haven't been grey for 30 years. I put this through my hair every morning. Jet black.
As you can see, I put my own liquid through my hair. That's why it's all fell out.
Yeah.
I keep some in the car. It starts, just put it in the carbs and it just fires into life. It's great stuff. But they've been in that for years now.
Do you buy that and make it yourself, or is it like a short fill, or do people just send it out?
It's a short fill. It's a short fill. I'm not going to lie to you. I get it sent on for free. That's just, I could sit here and tell you it's the best thing ever, blah, blah, blah. But I do get it for free, and I do vape it every single day. But
the difference with the time you've been doing it, when you first, you're looking at 2012 or whatever, and the flavor that you were getting out of juices at that time, or that you were getting out of coils or tanks or whatever else, was not really all that great when we really get down to it. And now juices are so much better. Tanks and coils and everything have gotten so much better. Do you notice the flavor being that much better now than it was 10, 12 years ago, do you think? Or do you not really think that's happened?
I think they're more complex now, for sure. But the thing back in the day, it was all high PG. So that was the flavors were, you could get really good flavors back in the day because it was high PG, so the flavors were stronger. But
the flavors had to be stronger because you were vaping it on, a piece of cotton they got out of a aspirin bottle and a wire they took out of a toaster. It was
the converted torch.
I put myself in the firing line here. I would say, as far as vaping goes, with RBA design, mods and blah, nothing's really changed for me since about 2016. I think we reached we plateaued there, the design wise, but I think pre-made coils are the big thing. They've just become the flavor you get out of pre-made coil now is light years away. It's just so good.
The mesh. The mesh part of it is really what kind of brought that all up, that much higher.
According to 3D, Mr. Todd doesn't remember what he had for lunch. Did you say that?
Be wrong.
3D.
You wouldn't be wrong. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was homemade. It was homemade carrot soup with two large teaspoons of Moroccan spice put through it.
Nice.
For some strange reason, Karen thought Moroccan spice would go well in homemade carrot soup. I'm telling you now, it fucking doesn't. It really doesn't.
Did it go through you as well?
Oh my God! Sorry, Karen. She'll know I said something derogatory when I go back in the house.
You look guilty because you always do, don't you? That's what I've been married for 40 years this year, and I walk in and she said, "What have you done?"
We've always got that look in our face. You know?
Yeah. Have you tried the Pure Max?
The latest and greatest this thing.
Oh yeah, you've got one.
Yep. Matt Watt says it's genuinely surprised him. You know?
It did me as well, to be honest. When I got it, for about the first 20 minutes, I thought, I don't really believe the hype. And then as the coil got settled in and the pod got settled in, I get nearly as much flavour off this as I do a mouth-to-lung RT8 with a proper coil in it. And that's the gospel truth.
Yeah. I don't think it's the second coming like some folk have made out, but it's like, I mean, yeah. I mean, like Oxfam, Nevox, and a few others. It's the coils are up there with them. Which is a good thing, and the technology in it as well is very clever.
It is, yeah.
It's no dry hits with it or anything like that. No. So that's good to see.
I don't know what I've done with mine though. A couple of times now, I've took the pod out, filled it up, put it back in. I'm presuming it's because I've took it out and it's not cold enough to put back in because it just won't fire unless it's the pod that's got a bit of a fault on it. It seems to struggle to connect itself back together again.
Is it one of the first ones you got, or did you get it at Expo or something?
No, I got it sent through the other day.
Yeah.
But the side filling pods.
Yeah, I got the one. I got one. Mine's is from Expo. It's a test one. But
a lot of people got them from there, didn't they?
Yeah, Will T's saying Pure Max is just a normal pod. Mr. Hinchliffe saying it's good, but it isn't replacing my rebuildable stuff.
No.
That's because you're a snob, Mr. Hinchliffe. That's because you're a snob.
Before we come to an end, because it has come to an end, but it's that time of day.
Yeah.
Obviously, you need to get to bed. Obviously, there was a benefit for my daughter last year that you put something in, and it was quite an expensive device, wasn't it? And
can't remember. I was drunk.
But going through the auction, it's the first auction I've ever seen where, as they were bidding, there was more stuff being put into the auction with it. It's like, and you can have one of them, and you can have one of them. And I think it was Paul that bought it, if I'm not mistaken.
It was Paul. Paul may have. Yes, Paul may have bought it.
Because I can remember the look on his face after it was all finished, and he went, "Wow!" It's like, they don't want any mortgage this month. Bless him.
Yeah.
So,
I actually watched her doing the skydiving.
Did you really? Bless you.
I watched it.
That was all part of it.
Well played. That was well played.
Obviously, I didn't take the actual video, and because I didn't know if their music was copyrighted or anything like that, so I didn't just put it on as it was. So I actually got, because you had to pay, each person paid for their video, and I just cut the 3 videos together and then put some of my music on that I pay for anyway, and that's how I got it to that. That was my daughter, my niece, and my daughter's stepdaughter. That's who actually featured in it. But it was amazing, wasn't it? The views, because we're in Lincolnshire, and as I jumped out of the airplane, if you looked across, you can actually see the Humber and the coast and stuff like that. It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
What's next in their bucket list?
She's going to Australia.
Oh, well played. Nice one.
A friend of hers emigrated 2 years ago, and when it all started, when she found out she was stage 4, she said, "Come over here and see Australia," and so it's been a little bit up and down because obviously she was on chemo. She only did five lots of that.
Yeah,
and it made her really ill the last time. Made her really ill, and they said, "No, you're not having that anymore." So now she's on radiotherapy for the next 3 weeks, 5 days a week for 3 weeks. Which I don't know how ill that makes you, but surely it can't make you as ill as what the chemo.
No, chemo's
it's awful. It's absolutely awful watching it. And then in February, off she goes, flying from Heathrow. I think it's cost about £12 million to get insured. She didn't tell me how much, but I said, that's going to cost you a few quid. She went, oh, yeah.
Good for her.
And then they went, well, that's right. You've got to do it, haven't you? You've absolutely got to do it. That's it. And the kids are going with her. And they're going to go across there, and it'll still be warm as well. It'll still be nice and warm. February, it'll be lovely and warm for them.
Yeah.
And have a good time over there. It's important. It's what you've got to do. And this weekend, it's a christening. So the two youngest are getting christened because she was married before. So she got one 17 and one 14. The boy, he's the only boy, the 14-year-old. And then she met somebody else, and real quick, she had two more kids. So she's got one who's 3, and she's a ginger-haired one, and she's Irish descendant, and she is fire. She is so funny. And then the little one who she was pregnant with when she found out she was ill. So they're all going. I don't think the boy's going, to be honest, because he can be a bit awkward. He's that gorgeous age at 14 years old.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for bothering to come over and support us small channels.
Thank you very much for having me on. It's not often anybody wants to talk to me, so I'll take that as a win.
It's just sometimes I know I've sort of read things in the past where beautiful supermodels can't get a boyfriend because nobody walks up to them and asks them out because they don't think they've got a chance. And I think sometimes with reviewers with many numbers, you think, well, they won't want to talk to us. But obviously you did, so that's lovely of you to do that.
I don't know about the many numbers thing, but
well, I just hope it gets you a few more subs now you've been on here.
I'm just it's gonna go down in my, you know, when I'm sending out my letters to people saying, you know, I can review your gear and whatnot.
Yeah.
At the bottom of it, I'll put down that I was on the Monday night show.
Yeah, with Bill and Mick. Yeah.
Just that extra bit of clout, you know.
That should probably get rid of most of the letters that you get normally. So no. not them two old blokes, especially when we had a show the other week, and Bill has obviously got an amazing sense of humour, and sometimes his sense of humour is even funnier than when he's being amazing. And I spent most of the show pissing myself with laughing. I couldn't get a word out. It was just so thanks everybody for watching. If you want to just give us a little bit of a thumbs up on the way out, I don't know why, but apparently it helps you up the logarithm, and then YouTube can squash it because it's fate related.
Yeah. That's the other thing that kills me is though, even though that's when you're going in, YouTube will throw all of these recommendations at you, but it doesn't matter how many vape channels you have and that you're subscribed to, they won't ever throw a vape channel at you as far as, you know, unless it's one in your subscription list. They just won't do it.
They sometimes show you somebody's shorts. I've found a few people from shorts. Or I didn't even know existed, and they've got masses of subscribers. And they're actually pretty good at what they're doing, but you would never have found them. So anyway, we better go. Thanks ever so much for watching. Thanks very much for you coming in and seeing us. It's been absolutely lovely.
Yeah, it's good.
If I can actually click the right thing, we'll go.
Nice to spend a little time in the shed for a change.
Yeah, that's right. Bye, everyone.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.